I think the idea of one love is the unconscious quest of the man to reunite with the goddess. But he doesn't know that. I'm going to tell you honestly, I know a lot of women and I'm in relation with multiple women, and make of this whatever you want, but I'm only in relation with one woman. The goddess. So let's say I have sisters, or my mother, or my friends who are girls, or my girlfriends who are my girlfriends, or my wives, or whatever you want. I'm making sure it's ambiguous because I don't want to tell you how I live so that you think this is cool or not cool and then emulate or reject. I'm here to talk about knowledge, and I make it a point that there's a form of ambiguity because people just want to copy, and I don't appreciate that. You should discover who you are and should take the time to discover how you operate. But the point is, let us say that I'm in a relationship with multiple women's, different kinds of relationship. My relationship was with the goddess. So there's only one woman in my life. And that woman is the goddess, and she has multiple forms. In this case, it's my sister. In this case, it's my mother. In this case, it's my lover. In this case, it's my mistress. In this case, it's my nemesis. In this case, it's my aunt. In this case, it's my friend's girlfriend. In this case, that's how I relate to women. Now, this is not a concept I've invented to myself like a Buddhist who wants to make an exercise of mind space. No. In my relationship with women, I've discovered what it is about her that I love. I'm going to be honest with you, and I say it very bluntly, I find women uninteresting. I'm not interested in what they have to say. If I want to have an intelligent conversation, I have an intelligent conversation with men. I don't give a fuck what a woman has to say. I'm not interested. They repeat. So I say this may sound evil or misogynist. I don't give a fuck what you think. You must be an idiot if you don't know that. Every man knows that. In some rare cases, you'll meet an intellectual woman who's interesting, but that's rare. And if it's the case, I'll listen to her on YouTube. It'll be an hour, and she'll repeat whatever she's read. So the point of what I'm trying to say is not, I don't want to disrespect women. I just want to say, I don't care about the woman's persona. I have no interest in it. Some women's persona there's a more fluidity. Some I just find repulsive, but it's a persona. But when I'm in a relationship with her, what I'm interested in is the goddess, the feminine energy that she's the embodiment of. Now that, I don't want to say I worship, but I do. I only worship the one, but this is the one expressed in her. That's what I've learned over the years in my sexual encounters with women and my journey to discover what a woman is and what's my relationship to women. It's like, well, what is a woman? There's a construct at the surface. You may like her personality, you may dislike it. It's a detail. It's a construct. And when sexual energy actually starts to circulate, that construct is slowly dissolved. Inside of you also, by the way, but we're talking about women now, man to man. That personality is dissolved. All the tensions, because her personality is what? It's just a series of tensions, knots. There's a knot here, there's a knot here. That knot speaks this way, that knot believes this, that knot believes this. These are fixations. No, it's not the right word in English. It doesn't sound right. Fixations. Something that's fixed. When the sexual energy starts to actually circulate, those they unwind. And her so-called identity is dissolved. That's why people are scared of sexuality. Real sexuality. Not being raped sexuality. Not all this perverted sexuality. When I say being raped, in case you didn't understand, I'm not talking about actual rape. I'm talking about the act of banging with violence a woman. That you see in porn and all this shit with it. That's this disgusting shit. That's what I mean. Just like violent, but hidden as sex, which is not. So when the sexual energy actually starts to circulate, not due to friction, okay? That artificial construct slowly starts to dissolve. And what is revealed? Well, the feminine essence starts to be revealed. I call that feminine essence the goddess. You can go deeper into the experience of that feminine essence, but the personality is gone. She's not dead, the person is there, but the woman is now, whatever I is now establishing itself in the goddess energy, at whatever degree that woman is able to let go. And that I have an interest in because that's the goddess. She's nourishing, she's gorgeous, she's divine, she wants to give to the man. The only thing that the man cannot have is what the goddess gives. Man can conquer and achieve anything and everything, but he cannot find anywhere on earth what the goddess gives, and he cannot force a woman to give it to him. And he wants that. Dare I say, he needs that. You can find it within yourself, but there ain't nothing better than finding it also, experiencing it via the conduit at the temple of the goddess itself. Anyways, the point is, now that's my interest. And when you discover that goddess, then you understand then that goddess, the goddess has multiple faces. We can get lost, okay? But I'm really trying to simplify it and make it easy to grasp. There's that feminine essence. Now that feminine essence can express itself in different tones, and then it can dress up and dress up and dress up. You just got, a beautiful woman. Now she puts purple underwear and purple bra, and then she's going to top it off with a purple dress with, I don't know what kind of shoes you like, right? These are just coverings. And I have nothing against the covering. I have an issue with the covering when the covering is an identity, because it makes the woman uninteresting. When it's the goddess who's dressed up according to the woman's constitution, it becomes interesting because the goddess is exuding herself through every aspect, all the way to the surface, to the shape of her nose. Yeah, but it's the goddess. And it makes everything beautiful. Even if it has a unusual shape, it's beautiful. Because the goddess shines through. And that shape now becomes exclusive and unique. So that's my interest. I don't want to disrespect the superficial personality of a woman who thinks she's interesting and intelligent. I don't find it. The same goes for guys between me and you, right? But we're talking about men and women. I'm like, whatever, just shut up, right? Every time they talk, it's just expressing tension, anxiety, distress, right? So I'm a guy, you know how it is. You help her to find comfort. In other words, you want her to relax, so she shuts the fuck up. Why? Because when she shuts the fuck up, if she relaxes, the goddess starts to circulate. When she runs her mouth, it's because she's anxious. I mean, she's got a bunch of problems. So if you want to have access to her, the goddess, you have to solve the problems of that person. At whatever degree you're there. This is part of the man's function. So, what am I supposed to tell you? I'm really being honest. Like, I'm a man. So if I'm going to encounter a woman, what's in it for me? I'm like, the goddess is in it for me. Is it as simple as this? Of course not. Because now you have the person's traumas, the person's experiences, the person's everyday experiences and stresses and worries and anxieties and resistances and karmic backgrounds. This is complex, man. It's layering and layering and layering and layering and layering and layering. And maybe that person's want nothing to do with discovering what her real nature is, at least at that level, which is she may not want nothing to do with that. Nothing. So then what's the point? That kind of dance with that woman, a dance with such a woman is not going to work for me. Because she's not interested in this, she's interested in friction, and I don't get turned on by friction. You put a naked woman in front of me, she's beautiful. Yeah, okay, I'll feel it for a fraction of a second, then whatever. You're not going to want to fuck her? Absolutely not. Why would I want to fuck her? There's no opening. There's no dynamic, there's no dance, there's no reception, there's no chemistry, there's no relating. So friction doesn't do it for me. It's boring, it's empty. And it comes from mental fucks, mental perversions, or what you call fetishes, and you're turned on by your own fucking mind. So technically you're fucking your own self. In fact, you're not fucking yourself, you're fucking your own mind, which is not yours. Let's not push that one further. But the point is that doesn't turn me on. What turns me on, what activates me as a man is to be in the presence of a woman who starts to relax and has an interest in the investigation of her nature and wants to use the vehicle of sexuality as a tool to dive towards self-discovery. And now we can do that together. Now that's interesting. That's very interesting, okay? For sure, because now there's something to discover, something to learn. It's always going to be new, always fresh, and it's fucking powerful. And then you discover powers. Your powers, her powers, cosmic powers, all kinds of powers. Well, consider that you putting your cock somewhere, rubbing it for 2 seconds, and coming in your condom. You stupid fuck. Now I gotta tell it like it is. You're an idiot, right? So you understand what I'm trying to say? And like I say, I like to bring it back. I ain't no fucking hippie, right? So I'm talking to you like this is real stuff. I'm not a hippie. I don't take drugs. I'm not on fucking mushrooms. I don't take MDMA and all this shit, and I don't drink. I'm clean. So I'm having these experiences and I'm sober. I'm clean in my mind. I don't live in fantasy worlds. I don't do that. I'm like, this is actual experiences. So if you don't understand the wording I'm using, I'm talking about levels of bliss. How about that? That's my interest as a man. And that creates an actual relationship with women. The woman, let's say we're engaging with a woman here. It creates a relationship because I have an interest in her. I don't have an interest in her artificial constructed personality. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm going to be straight with you. It's a dumbass robot. In some cases, a so-called smart-ass robot, which I find even dumber, right? It's not real. It's a construct. It's a bunch of fucking words, a collage of data that makes bogus links at the surface of reality. Now, I'm not saying that this is wrong. I said this can be useful in certain cases for everyday operation. Yeah, but that's not a woman. This is a construct. I'm interested in the woman. Whatever a woman is, for me, it's the goddess. It's the primal feminine. I'm interested in that. I want to be in a relationship with her. So when I say her, I'm talking about the goddess. Now, expressed in that woman is unique. So I want to have an experience of the goddess, a unique experience of the goddess. Fine. It's still the goddess. But it's got a particular flavor. Awesome. But the point is, that's my interest. And I'm willing to invest myself in a relationship with that particular woman who must have an interest in this and go through a journey with her and assist her in the best of my capacity as she lets go of all her false concepts of herself, of sexuality, of femininity, of life itself, as she dives deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the discovery of herself and her sexual power and the goddess or the feminine energy. What do I get in return? I can't explain to you what I get in return, dude, but it's exactly what you're looking for. There's no words to describe what it is that I'm getting. I would not be able to do justice to it. I would fail monumentally. I couldn't even get one note properly. But I can assure you, it's what the man is looking for. He just don't know that you're looking for this, and you're looking at it. You're looking for it in all the wrong ways. I'm sorry, I don't want to be that dude, but I'm that dude, man. And you can do that if you want. It makes you happy. Do whatever you want. But it's like what you get then is a blessing from the goddess. And the goddess is supreme power. And then you get to see who you really are as a man. And there's so much more to the story, but I think it's a good place to start. So again, I don't want to because when I speak sometimes, I'm just like slangy. Everybody has a surface personality. There's no issue. You see, I can speak and cuss because that's part of my conditioning. I could not cuss also, but I enjoy to cuss. And you can judge me at that level. If you could judge me as the level you want. So this is just conditioning. And you can uncondition and you can use it if you want. As long as you're not identified to it, it's a detail. If you're identified to it, which is the case of most people, they're identified at a certain crust of their identity or personality. So it's very shallow and boring. There's nothing there. I'm a beautiful tall girl with perfect breasts and nice ass. And that's what it's like what the fuck is this? Like, where's the juice? There's no juice there. You got to break her to have access to a little bit of something, right? So that's not how I want to be in a relationship with women. I don't want to have to break you. We're like I said, this is a complex subject. The point is, there's nothing wrong with the surface personality. There's an issue when the woman and the man, but we're talking about women, is identified to it. Because she doesn't know herself, she doesn't understand her power, she doesn't understand her unique woman power, she doesn't know anything. So she's miserable because she identifies herself with a little geek. Let's say it's a geek who does websites. I know one of those. She's a geek who does websites. And she's totally identified with being a geek who does websites. Imagine. And she's all squeezed, geeky with her little glasses doing websites. So you go from the goddess to the little geek in front of the fucking MacBook Pro doing websites. Imagine how constricted the goddess becomes in order to do the websites and identify to that. She could do the websites and not be identified, but identify to that. Now, how do you think that creature is going to find a release of tension? With a man? Of course not. She'll need a dildo. She'll need a machine. She can't relax. She's all pent up and crisp and tense. You think she wants to relax genuinely and discover who she really is? No, she's identified to the computer geek. So she's not willing to relax and open up to herself and discover who she is. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So there's nothing wrong with the surface personalities. The issue is that the woman, the man also, but the woman is identified to it, and therefore she suffers because of that. She's miserable because all her creative genius and potential and divinity is stuck in a little layer that has existed for less than 50 years. We have the goddess, which is eternal, and now identified to a little computer that's existed for less than 50 years. Poor goddess. And poor person who lives in that experience. And what will that person do to compensate in order to just have a little bit of an exhale? So I sympathize with people, but so let us say that this computer geek decides that she wants to discover more of herself and her sexuality and discover her feminine essence. As she lets go of that and discovers greater aspects of herself, greater aspects of her potential. It doesn't mean she can't play on the computer, but it means that when she does play with the computer, it will come from a whole different place. If she chooses to do that. It will not be the computer geek who's in charge. She is not the computer geek. She's the goddess using the computer geek to make websites. You see the difference? It is the goddess now using the computer geek to make a website. Versus it's the computer geek using the goddess to make a website.